I said I wasn't going to Rhinebeck, but I went to Rhinebeck. I said I wasn't going to hug anybody. I hugged everybody. Why? Anyway, I know this is a terrible setup, that there's too much backlight and I'm all washed out and everything, but honestly, it was the only place I could do it today. I'm in the Becky room, the Julia Annex, whatever you want to call it. It's a separate wing and attached to my house as a separate kitchen, separate just everything, bathroom, bedroom, living room, the whole deal. That's where I am right now. And I'm just gonna give you a little Rhinebeck redux, tell you about my weekend, and show you what I got at Rhinebeck, and talk a little bit about the hill and some of the experiences I had on the hill. And I look terrible. I know I look terrible. I'm just recuperating. It was just wild. And I'm drained and I have to recharge. I could barely get out of bed today. I'm weary. And I'm old, I'm 55 years old. I'm almost 60. I mean, I know that's not almost 60, but, I'm going to turn 56 in less than a year. And, I'm getting up there. Things are definitely changing in a million different ways. But let's get started with let me just do a little quick thing about the Advents. So the Advents, I'm waiting on a little bit of printed material that's going to go in there. So I'm waiting for that. And so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, I'm going to get everything in by the end of this week. So I'm going to be putting Advents together starting probably Saturday morning. I'm going to do all international first. And there may be, I want to say 80 or 90 Advents that are just international. No, not that many. But a lot. So I have to get those out first. And then I'm going to start at the beginning, and the first person that bought the Advent, I'm going to ship it out in order of how they paid for it. So I'm just going to print the packing slips out, and I'm going to do them one at a time. I have a big table set up in my living room. And I'm just going to build the Advents one at a time. I saved one for Stephanie, who works for me. She gets one. And then I saved one for myself. And I will have a few extras. I'm going to sell those extras probably either this week or the beginning of next week. But I will have a notification on Instagram that will say that, Friday or this date at this time, so you can not just miss it. If you need an Advent, you want to buy an extra Advent, you missed the first, when I sold them initially, and I have some extras, not a lot of extras, but I do have some extras. I'm going to trade with some people. I ended up getting about 20 different companies that wanted to trade Advents with me. And realistically, I probably want to scale back on that and really only trade maybe 3 or 4 different companies, because I really don't need that much yarn. I don't need 20 different Advents myself to open at Christmas. I am doing Vlogmas, so I hope you'll join me for that. I can't guarantee it'll be anything interesting at all, because Julia isn't living here and not making all of the Christmas cookies every day like what she was doing. She was always baking. I had some content My life is pretty boring in general, so I'm not sure, but you know, I will have some people's advents to open to show you, and I'll be opening mine each day that you can see. But I did keep one for myself, and I have started knitting this Jessie May Colorwork sweater. And here it is. And of course, I'm making this video black and white, so you can't actually see the colors, but this is the sweater. So what I'm doing is it's a top-down yoke colorwork sweater, and I am just using my Advent 2021 for it. And I'm starting with day 1. So like this is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. I'm not like doing it in terms of what would be the best color way to do it. You know, like if there's not enough contrast, I don't care. I'm just going with it. Now, when you get your Advent and you want to do this sweater for your Advent, if you wanted to make this also, then you could sort of adjust the color so there's more contrast. But I'm loving it because it's looking like a watercolor. You can't see it. You can't see the colors, but I'm loving it and having fun with it. And I think it's going to make a great sweater. Okay, back to Technicolor. Okay. So where do I start? I'm going to start by talking about, okay, I flew up there and I stayed with my friend Karen. She's my oldest friend. She and I became friends in 6th grade, and we've been friends ever since. And Becky Julia I met in 8th grade, and we actually hated each other the first time we met. But I guess there was just one time where we just started laughing about something, and we couldn't stop laughing, and that solidified our friendship. Same with Karen. I think most of my friendships start when there's an interaction with someone and we start laughing and then we can't stop laughing, and it just kind of solidifies the friendship. That's basically what happened with both of them. Anyway, so she flew to New York. I stayed with her in her hotel. We met up with Becky every day. And yeah, I flew up on a Thursday. I had no plans to go to any Woolen Folk, Cakeapalooza, India Entangled. I didn't have any designs to go to those, though if I was going to go to any, Woolen Folk looked pretty special, looked really interesting. And they actually had invited me to sell there, but I just was not going to do that. And then Cakeapalooza looked like just a great time, you know, with the people. Great yarn too, but like a great time. My yarn was on the Yarnbird bus, Robin's Yarnbird bus, so I sent her a box of specials, so that was there. So I was sort of there in spirit, but I really just wanted to go to Rhinebeck. I wanted to go to the Hill. I wanted to see all the people, and that's what I did. So Thursday night, we had Chinese at Land of Plenty, and then we just sort of shopped around the East Village on Friday, and, you know, shopped and ate lunch. Okay, Becky, what's your favorite thing about me? About Skein Cocaine?
Oh, you can't ask me that. No, don't put me on the spot.
I know my favorite thing about Skein Cocaine. You gotta hang out with her because you just feel like you're in a movie. And you kind of are.
See, Karen is made for video.
You do have the personality, Karen.
Just making shit up as I go. So.
On the menu, did they bother telling you the specials of the day or no?
They didn't tell me
I would go to another
thing.
table. Roast beef sandwich, sesame roll, jus on the side, onions cooked down, horseradish bread. The other one, chicken schnitzel, chicken breast baggy down, breaded, and seared, side on the side of chickens. Specials.
I needed some coffee.
And I might have that roast beef sandwich. It sounded so good.
That's what I thought so too.
I'm
I
videotaping
like the idea of the roast beef sandwich.
for my podcast, my Rhinebeck YouTube podcast.
Oh, got it. Okay. Hi, Skin Cocaine followers. Come along with us on this fabulous weekend to Rhinebeck and New York City.
So if I'm like the patient, I couldn't get the drugs to say for Kings even though a third party was doing
Okay, I hope these are good. So, you don't need oysters, right?
That's correct.
Okay, do you?
I was talking to somebody else that had a
Alright, I'm all alone.
You're all alone.
warehouse in the Midwest, and they were trying to outsource all their seriously.
That shell, I'm eyeing it because
Fantastic.
it's perfect for painting.
Really good.
Really good?
Really good.
This cute little outdoor cafe. I really want to live. No, it wasn't the East Village. I'm sorry. It was, Greenwich Village, the West Village, not the East Village. There is a difference. The East Village is like very rough and tumble and very sort of edgy, gritty, whereas I think the West Village is probably the most desirable neighborhood in Manhattan. It's got really adorable boutiques. It's just a charming, doesn't have numbered streets. It's just sort of crazy, but it's just charming and I love it there and I want to move there. Let's see. So then Saturday morning, we got up and we caught the 8:30 or 8:50 North something, not the Amtrak, but the other train, and went in, took the train to Poughkeepsie, and it was a 30-minute Uber ride to, and $75 one way to get to the festival. So we get to the festival and we unpack and we take one step in the door and there is M1 Yarns and Danielle from the M1 Yarn podcast. They were there. Say anything? I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm just gonna. Hi. I'm just gonna, it's gonna be like famous faces, that kind of thing. So we immediately, first hug of the day, the minute I got out of the Uber car, I started hugging people right away. And then we realized that most of the food vendors did not take credit cards. So we had no credit, didn't take credit cards. They took cash only and we didn't have any cash. I mean, I paid with my watch everywhere I go. I just swipe everywhere. Transit, doesn't matter, just use my watch. My Amex is on my watch, just swipe everywhere I go. I don't even carry a wallet half the time. And so we didn't even have any way of getting money out of the ATM. The three of us, we were just pathetic. And so we walked over to the ATM just to sort of stare at it and figure out how we were going to get a bottle of water and how we were going to get some food because we were starving. And there was a $20 bill Karen saw the $20 bill was just stuck in the machine. So I guess somebody had gotten maybe 100 out or something, and then they grabbed the bills and they only grabbed, some of them, and they left one sitting there. So we were able to get a donut and a bottle of water, and so that was funny. And we milled around, but then came the time for the event, the Hill. I wanted to go to the Caddy Jacks, half and half, Cal ending. I wanted to do that. So I was sort of milling around and I didn't see where they were. I saw Karen at Do You Know?
Hi, Skin Cocaine! Is it really? Would you like a skate of unicorn? I have to finish my
then I guess she was there for the Andrea Mowry one, which is maybe the Illuminate Sweater, I think is what it's called, which I have to make now. But so she gave me this skein of yarn, which is her exclusive colorway from Spin Cycle. It's called Unicorn. And she gave me this as a free gift. Thank you, Karen. It was very sweet. And it was 2 o'clock on the dot when which was when the meetup time was for Caddy Jackson. I noticed them. They were on the other side of the hill. So I was like, oh, it's 2 o'clock. Okay, I found them. Great. And so I ran over there just as they were taking the big group picture, and I missed being in it. And missed like all of it, except I think Jackie read a poem about the half and half triangle wrap, and I missed it. But then they saw me and they came over and we took a picture together. And you know, I'm intimidated by high profile knitters with large audiences, and I just get very intimidated and feel very awkward. And I cannot tell you how great they made me feel. So I'm standing there with them, and Caitlin is on one side and she's whispering in my, and so there's just all these people taking pictures of us with their phones. It's just like we were in a circle and everybody had their phones up. It was really surreal, actually. But Caitlin whispers in my ear, she says, not enough time. We need more time together. You know, we didn't get enough time to talk and we need to spend more time. And then Jackie is on the other ear and she whispers in my ear, you're so beautiful. You're so beautiful. And come on. Okay. I felt really good. I loved them instantly. I don't know. It was just a really special moment. But pretty much everywhere I went, I had so many lovely people coming up to me and saying, I'm getting your Advent. I'm excited. Or, yeah, I love your podcast. So great to see you in real life. My Instagram reel is coming to life and it's really fun. I got to see so many people and everybody was just absolutely lovely. And I had a great time. I did not buy anything. I got a stitch marker from Jackie and Caitlin, and I got this unicorn from Karen at Do Knit. And Karen, my bestie Karen, actually gave me a bag of yarn that she bought somewhere years ago and she didn't want it. It's this Sublime. And she gave it to me. Believe it. Let's see, how many did she give me? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 balls of this. What is this? I actually didn't look to see what the details were of this, but This is 60% mohair, 35% nylon, and 5% fine merino. So it doesn't have any silk in it, which is typically what you would see with this sort of mohair-y thing. This is called Kid Mohair Blend. They're 25 grams each, 112. That's probably why she got 10 of them. But I don't even know what Karen has ever actually knit before. She has bought yarn with me. We were at Vogue knitting and everything, but I've never seen her knit or anything. Now, when we were back on the train going home, she took my second half and half triangle wrap that I'm doing out of this pink color linen quill, and she knit a few stitches on the train, and she said, oh, so zen, I'm so relaxed, I'm gonna start knitting again. But I honestly have never seen her knit. I've never seen anything she's knit. I don't know. I think she just likes buying yarn. That's what I think, which is so funny to me, to just buy yarn but actually not use it. I mean, I don't use all my yarn, but I do knit, so there's a potential for me to use all of my yarn, right? Okay, so what else? Okay, where was I? Okay, so it was all, once again, all about the people, all about just seeing the people, you know, that I know and love, and people that I didn't know that came up and were so friendly. It was fun. Some people came up to Becky, Julia, and said, Julia, I love that fairy house cookie you made during vlog. You know, they were calling her by name. And oh, one thing that did happen is maybe the first 5 minutes that we were there, Christy Glass ran into us and grabbed us and took us over and filmed the three of us and what we were wearing. So whether we make it onto the video or not, I don't know. But we got on, you know, we got hopefully on to Christy's Tell Me About Your Rhinebeck Sweater. So that was right away. I mean, I think I just did everything I wanted to do because I don't need yarn. I don't need yarn. Just trying to think if there's anything that I just, you know, coveted that I had to have. And not really. I mean, all yarn is beautiful, but there's just nothing that I had to have. Becky bought a $500 felted hat.
You know what each one is? Like that one that did it, that one was like 23. Let me go find this. Can't rock.
And your zip code with this card? No, I just need your zip code. Oh, okay. 90004.
The bird's nest on it, maybe? I don't know if you've seen those hats, if you've been to Rhinebeck. They're like cloche, felted cloche hats, and they'll have like a Dalmatian on them, or a bird's nest, or an owl, or they're works of art. And she bought one. It wasn't big enough for her head, but the artist is stretching it for her and is going to ship it to her. So Becky she spent $500 while she was there, and Karen and I didn't buy anything. I don't think Karen bought anything. I didn't buy anything. I did have my apple cider donut. I had apple cider, which I only need a couple sips of. Sort of like butterbeer at Disney World. I just need a couple sips and I'm good. We had the Brussels sprouts. Had a baked potato. Tried to do a couple jumping videos. Like I always do a picture of me jumping up in the air with excitement, and I need to cut the carbs out. I'm like 6 months pregnant looking. I've got a swollen, distended stomach because I just can't. I'm a sugar addict. I can't stop eating sugar. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that was just really amazing. I think that's pretty much it. Then we waited a long time to get our Uber back to the train. We went back on the train, and then Saturday night we had the worst meal I've ever had in New York. It was at the Tribeca Grill. It's owned by Robert De Niro, I guess. Worst food I've ever had. Worst meal I've ever had in New York. Went to a really cute yarn shop, a new shop in the city, and I met those ladies. And then Sunday, Karen and Becky and I made these shells. So we took these oyster shells and we painted them. No, we put Mod Podge and Caspari napkin on the shell, clam shell or oyster shell, and then Mod Podged it and then painted gold around the edge. And we made those sort of just like a relaxing sort of Zen crafting moment with my besties. That was really fun. And then Karen left, and then I left the next morning. And then that was the end of the Rhinebeck. You know, I flew home. That was the end of the Rhinebeck weekend. I came home to a skein of yarn I had bought online from Kirby Werby, which was a was a bulky rainbow skein. Here it is. And it's really, really pretty. I think I'm going to have to rip this out though, because the stitch count, I don't know. It just seems like it's big. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's, well, you know what? I think it's going to be okay. Actually, I think it is going to be okay. So I'm going to keep going. Marcella wants this. She wants everything rainbow. So I'm going to let her wear this. I have to say, Kirby Werby is probably makes the best rainbow stripes I've ever seen. There's something about it. It just flows so nicely through the colors. It's just gorgeous. So I think Kirby Werby is, I like mustache yarn a lot, but I think Kirby Werby might be the best. Well, Gauge Dye Works is good too, but this is one of the best rainbows I've seen. I did bring a knitting project with me. I grabbed a skein of patterns and a solid patterns and made Dave making him another sock. I had made the other pair for him for his birthday. I'm going to make this pair for Christmas. So this is about all the knitting I got done while I was on my trip. I worked a little bit on my half and half triangle wrap, but basically this is again, what I do for Dave is I do a 72 stitch cast on top down, and I do a 2x2, typically fairly long, on a size US 1. And I'm doing it on a 9-inch or 12-inch. I don't remember which it is, 9 or 12, I'm not sure. That way I don't have any ladders on the sides, because when I do magic loop, I get a distinct ladder on each side. And I've watched the Sockmatician's video. I've watched so many videos, and I cannot eliminate that ladder. And the only way that I can do that is, excuse me, is to do it on the circular. And so now I have no ladders, and I can keep this needle on all the way until I get to the very end when I'm decreasing for my toe, and then I'll switch to magic loop or double points, one or the other, and finish up the toe. So these are his Christmas socks. Yeah, I think that's it. So all in all, it was a fabulous trip. I'm really glad I went. I was so happy to see everybody. I thought everybody was just absolutely lovely and sweet. I mean, I guess I didn't see the people that hated me. They probably, caught wind of me and made it so I didn't see them, because I didn't see any haters while I was there. I felt just really loved and so much kindness was extended towards me and my friends, and it was just wonderful. And I'm definitely going to do it again. Ideally, what I really want to do is I want to get a big house full of people. I want to stay in a house with a huge amount of people. So I have like a big posse, kind of like Karen at D-Unit does. You know, she brings all her besties with her, and she makes it a 4-day thing. That's kind of what I want to do next year. And I say this every year, but I want to do that. I want to reserve a house now, Airbnb, like now, and and I want to do all the stuff: Woolen Folk, Cakeapalooza, Indian Tangled, Rhinebeck, Bread Alone, Avocado Toast. I want to do all of the stuff, and that's the plan. That's what I want to do next year. And you have to plan for that. You have to get a house early or you're not going to get one. So, okay. Well, I'll shoot some more footage. You'll see some more footage, at the end of my trip. And if you did go, comment below and tell me what your highlight was of the trip if you did go. And that's it. So thank you for watching. I need to go edit this video and get it up because I know everybody wants to see all the Rhinebeck rehashes. So I'm going to get this up as soon as I can. So on to Advents. That's the next thing. Christmas is coming. Okay. Okay. Bye. All right, so we're in the room. We're staying at the Westin in New York, and we're gonna take the train this morning, and we're gonna go to Rhinebeck. You see those gargoyles up there? Or maybe I think they're eagles, actually, on the top of the Chrysler building. We're gonna head on out. We're gonna meet Julia, Becky, and we're gonna head on out. Are you ready, Karen?
Getting there.
And my high-tech equipment for my podcast. This is so high-tech. All right, she's got all her makeup and everything. So we're gonna go to Grand Central now. Bye.